Welcome to the project tonight. The vitamin supplements that could be causing serious health complications. So, is danger lying in your bathroom cupboard?
Plus, why the PM is weighing in as the Beach Cabana debate heats up.
Plus, things could get deadly when renowned wildlife presenter Steve Backshall joins us live.
Crikey, and...
And the new survey that reveals the hard truth. Your friends will and won't tell you truths. I think, like, if you reply to random surveys, guess what? You're a nerd.
Is that true?
That's true.
Oh, no.
Did you do the survey?
That's how we find out. No. We are live from the lands of the Cooler Nation with the ever-amazing Dave Thompson.
Hey guys. Just sitting here, filling out surveys. Just bloody living it up, guys. Yeah.
Nice to have you back.
Hey, Happy New Year. Can I still say that? Is that still
you can.
here?
But as a friend,
got a bit
would
of
have been
time.
nice if you wore a tie.
What do you mean? I always say I come on looking like dodgy real estate agent. That's my thing. That's what I've got.
Welcome. Let's get into today's top stories now. And fresh clues have been found as the search continues for a hiker missing in Kosciuszko National Park since Boxing Day. New South Wales police say they remain hopeful they'll find Hadi Nazari after his camera gear was discovered at a remote campfire site on Sunday. That area is now the focus for search teams who are faced with dense bush and steep terrain.
We're making some inquiries in relation to trying to determine how long ago that little campfire was lit, and that'll give us, if we can determine that, some type of timeline to when he was last in that specific area.
A 51-year-old man has been arrested over a suspicious fire that's extensively damaged a heritage-listed grandstand at Melbourne's Caulfield Racecourse. CCTV footage allegedly shows a man dragging a wheelie bin inside the stand, adding extra paper and setting it alight. Races scheduled at Caulfield for tomorrow have been moved to a nearby course.
One day doesn't make a season for the club, so we're a very strong club. We will rebuild, and we're very keen to ensure the heritage aspect is covered.
There'll be no Australian Open comeback this year for Bernard Tomic after he lost his opening round qualifying match in straight sets. He was easily ousted 6-3, 6-1 in just 61 minutes by Slovakian Josef Kovalik. The 32-year-old last played the Oz Open in 2021 and was knocked out in the second round. Leighton Hewitt's 16-year-old son Cruz also crashed out.
And if you're sick of heading to the polls every 3 years, turns out you're not alone. Anthony Albanese says he supports extending federal election cycles to 4-year fixed terms. It's unclear whether the PM supports it for practical reasons or if he's just tired of journos pestering him for an election date, which also would get tiresome.
It very much would.
Yeah.
Or if he's not happy with the current opinion polls on his Prime Ministership. What do you reckon, Dave?
It is very strange when they call their own election because they try to at least get the upswing when they're popular. But I think 4 years does make sense. But it also screams of a person who's not confident.
Totally.
You know, it's like you're sitting here now going, I reckon we should do another year.
I tried that with my contract extension here. I was like, what do you reckon about 7 years? And they said day by day, as it was. Let's see how you go. Tell us your gags.
Yeah. Do you like 4 years? I think 4
I
years
do
is
think it's
good.
better,
I think
yeah.
5 years too much. 3 years just too short because there's always it takes a long time to try and change things, right? When there's a new government that comes in, and then they're like, oh yeah, we're going to fix everything that was wrong with the old government. Then it's like, oh my God, we ran out of time. Now there's a new government in, and now we've got to do this. And
Well, it depends on where you're sitting, right, and where you
Yeah.
stand. Because if you're really struggling, if you're, to pay your mortgage, to put food on the table, you'd be hoping this kind of moves
Yeah,
through
you're like,
quickly, right?
Yeah.
Democracy sausage every, 4 years?
Totally. Yeah, the only chance I get to draw a penis on a bit of paper as well.
Is that your vote?
Sam.
No, that's...
You did political science.
Yeah, and I'm making a political statement with my political penis. Anyway, Sydney was hit by some crazy weather last night. Sorry, it's January, we're all still finding our feet this year. Let's not forget that day-by-day contract that I just...
I don't think it's the feet that's the problem, if I've got to be honest.
Guys, the weather, it's been crazy. Am I right? In
You
Sydney,
and
there was some bad weather. Trees damaged some cars. This bloke just moved into the very fancy double bay, and I'm not sure his new neighbours are going to be thrilled with this very chirpy response.
That seems very close. I'm glad I'm not that guy over there.
Oh, mate, it's scary. Moving twice in a month. Be careful, all right?
Yeah. That's where you parked your car, Georgie.
Found it. Found it? This is how I find out.
Well, they are rolling around in bedside tables and in bathroom cabinets across the country, and chances are they're in your home right now. But tonight, a warning that vitamin supplements could be putting your body in serious danger.
So, you can't sleep, your skin's gone to hell, and you're feeling sluggish. There's a supplement for that.
I think most people probably would benefit from magnesium.
I will often use fish oil capsules.
Omega-3, I'm taking the vitamin D. I also take creatine.
Aussies lapping up vitamins like veggies don't exist. Close to half of us taking something to complement our diets, all adding to a booming $5 billion industry.
What we're seeing online is, a rise in the wellness industry, lots of influencers promoting supplements, telling people that they've got deficiencies in things that they don't have.
Now, there are warnings those multivitamins could be causing serious health complications.
Patients present with weakness or pain, whether that's a burning or tingling or shooting pain in the hands and the feet. For some people, they can get weakness in their lower limbs, and there have been case reports of people who can no longer walk.
All those symptoms are the result of toxic levels of vitamin B6. Added to most magnesium supplements and many multivitamins to help with absorption, it's found in everything from kids' gummies to energy drinks to cereal.
You get an appropriate amount of vitamin B6 in your diet, so there's really no need for supplementation. A lot of patients unknowingly are taking vitamin B6. People are already taking over 50 times the recommended daily dose.
So why is B6 such a problem?
The supplement form of B6 is excreted quite slowly from the body, so it has a longer half-life, and that's why it accumulates over time, causing toxic levels.
The TGA has released safety advisories and forced companies to put warning labels on products that exceed a certain level of B6. But cases of toxicity are still rising. So how do we really know what we're consuming?
Check your bottles, check everything you're taking, check your parents, check your grandparents, check everybody's bottles. If you're having symptoms, go to your GP specialist and have your bloods taken.
So glad you guys brought this up. Like, suspect supplements is really something I want to get across, because I found some at a music festival recently. And
Did you do the checks, Thorno?
oh, mate, I was B6'd out of my brain. It was a lot.
Holy
Holy what?
Don't you think, when you actually go into the grocery store now and you notice how big it's you notice how big this industry has gotten, just how many aisles now, because often there'll be multiple aisles dedicated to all of these supplements, and you're like, what, how has it got this big?
And you think because you can grab it off the shelf that it must be okay.
Oh yeah,
right?
You think it's safe?
Yeah, that's it. So maybe double the dose if you're not feeling that well as well, but it needs to be better regulated.
I just think I feel better than everyone else when I take supplements. So it's like, I'm like, hey, I'm getting ahead of the game here. So even if they're not working...
What do you take?
Thorno sold me some stuff just before. I'll tell you what, I am flying right now.
You got to get off the horny goat weed, Sam.
What is going on?
Strange stuff.
This is how we do things now, Dave. Welcome back. Time for a break. We'll see you soon.
Welcome back. This is The Project.
Time now to see what's making news around the world.
UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has had a crack at Elon Musk for meddling in British politics and democracy. He's spoken out after a barrage of online attacks from Musk, who described Starmer as despicable, accusing the PM of being complicit in the cover-up of a historic sexual abuse scandal.
Those that are spreading lies and misinformation are not interested in victims. They're interested in themselves.
A tough day for Kamala Harris. She's had to certify Donald Trump's election victory.
Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 312 votes.
In stark contrast to when Trump supporters stormed the Capitol in 2021, the ceremony unfolded without incident.
The American people should be able to take for granted is that there will be a peaceful transfer of power.
And after 9 years in the top job, Justin Trudeau is resigning as Canadian Prime Minister. On the nose with voters and his own party, he's decided to step down.
If I'm having to fight internal battles, I cannot be the best option.
But it was the threat of a trade war with the US that forced his hand, Donald Trump trolling Trudeau suggesting Canada simply become America's 51st state.
Well, Steve Clemens, editor of The Washington Note, is here to tell us why Trudeau bid adieu to his 9-year run in power. Steve, Trudeau was the hottest thing in politics back when he was elected. Just how did it all fall apart?
Like, he was a handsome guy. He was the guy with the big smile with all the problems. He was the sunny ways prime minister. And you know, it just shows that, you know, having a smile, being positive, you know, got him 10 years in office, and that's nothing to laugh about. But when it comes to dealing with a bully, you know, across the border, that probably took the veneer and the mystique off of Justin Trudeau a bit. And he's having to step down because people doubt him at home and they doubt him internationally right now.
So what is his legacy going to be? Because I know he was presented, as you just said, as this sunny prospect, but I also remember quite a few controversies.
Well, look, I mean, I think he emerged in a very surprising way as an unexpected prime minister a decade ago whose party did better than expected. And he tried to position Canada as a progressive force in the world and as someone that was always on the moral right side of things. But the truth is a little darker in some ways. You know, he's also an oil and gas prime minister. He's also a prime minister who's got to deal, you know, with the realities of trade with an America that is turning its back in some ways on Canada when President Trump comes in. And in some ways, his look and his fiscal policy, and I think the biggest thing that took him down was Chrystia Freeland, his deputy prime minister and finance minister, who just said you can't smile at every problem. You've got to be tough and deal with real issues.
Steve, Donald Trump is clearly no fan of Trudeau, calling him the governor of Canada, which is kind of funny. Did Trump's re-election have anything to do with Trudeau standing aside?
Well, look, I think Trump's re-election has exacerbated for a lot of Canadians the weaknesses of Trudeau's style vis-a-vis Trump coming in. Trump not only calls him the governor and said that, you know, Canada would be a great 51st state. I don't know if you saw what Trump said today. He said he'd drop all the tariffs for Canada if Canada just merged with America. And so, you know, he's basically telling Canadian people you're not a real country. And I think that kind of behavior. And remember, Trudeau went down to Mar-a-Lago.
And stuff.
Yeah, Trump went down. Trudeau went down to Mar-a-Lago to kind of get approval from him.
I say the same about New Zealand. We're coming for you. Now, Steve, while we have you, we're a couple of weeks out from the inauguration. How are things looking over there?
Look, it's going to be the richest, biggest inauguration ever in Trump terms, way bigger than 8 years ago when he came in. He's got billionaires giving personally, like Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, gave $1 million personally to the inauguration. Tech companies are giving tons of money to the inauguration. They're all trying to buy Donald Trump's love. So it's going to be a lot of money, the most expensive inauguration in American history, and it's pretty calm.
Have you got your Trump dance down pat yet, Steve?
I do. You know, look, Davos, the World Economic Forum, is starting the same day. I've got this big dilemma. Do I stay for the inauguration or do I go to Davos in the World Economic Forum? You tell me what I should do.
Yeah. Switzerland, here you come. Steve, thanks for your time.
Great to be with you.
Okay, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. This is The Project. Now, a Queensland grandmother who's established a farm rescue on her Warner property is facing a fight to keep her animals. Christina Drury-Ciccone has rehomed 2 horses, 2 ponies and 2 cows, as well as several ducks and chickens on her 1.2 hectare block. But the City of Moreton Bay says the backyard farm violates local planning laws. Unless Christina can come up with the compliance cost, which is around $21,000, her animals could be seized.
And Christina joins us now, along with a few of her friends. Christina, it's good to see you. You are facing a whopping big fee to keep your animals. Has council explained what the problem actually is?
Yes, they have. It started off that we knew that when we moved to this property, we had the 2 big horses, and we started with therapy with the horses, and it was actually, you know, something we really enjoyed. And we came across these 2 ponies that were in desperate need of being rescued. They were just being mistreated where they were and not getting the proper care. I couldn't help it. That's part of me. I just wanted to give these horses a life.
Christina, I know there'll be lots of people watching this who also love animals, but there's a difference, right, between loving them and then going out of your way to save their lives. What do you think it is about you as a person that compelled you to act in this way?
It comes from our background. Unfortunately, I did go through living in domestic violence, and in that time, I found such an affinity with animals. There's one thing I could be around, I could trust, and I felt comforted. So by that, helping the animals, it just fulfills me so much.
Christine, I always think people who rescue animals, they're the best type of people, and you can see a few of them behind you there. But I'm just thinking, how are the neighbours going with this? Because I'm going to couch this question as coming from a guy who grew up in suburbia and the city. Yeah. How's the smell with all of it?
Well, we actually do clean up the block every day. My husband, poor gentleman, he actually does it for me. He goes and picks up everything every day. And we do compost, we do bag it and things like that. We actually have kept it quite clean. And we have a lot of people come to a children's playground right beside us. They bring down the grandkids, their kids, and just see the animals. And it's fantastic. We get a great response from the community.
Christina, you say that the neighbours are all really cool with this. So do you know where this complaint has come from?
We do. There was only one, and I don't like to speak ill of people, but it's just you get that one person who's lived in the neighbourhood longer than anyone else, and they put forward their views. But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I just want people to be happy and to enjoy it. And the people who did, honestly, I don't mind. I know they do like the animals. It's just, you know, had a bee in their bonnet.
Christine, I don't want to tell you how to live, but could you train the animals to possibly take a dump on their front doorstep?
Bravo. That's what justice looks like.
Well, yes, I did have a horse escape one night, and of all places, he did stop on their front lawn, and all I could think of was, please no, please no.
They know.
Animals know. They do.
Hey, there is a bit of a sad end to this, though. I mean, what happens if you can't raise the money? What are you going to do then?
Working with the planning department, there is a way through it, and we're working with a town planner who we had to employ, and it will just cost us to keep the animals. So we'll be able to have special consideration to keep the ones that we do have and that we saved, and that will just cost money. The sad part of it was someone came in on the 27th of December, specifically wrote a letter to me saying that they were going to seize the animals, gave it to a ranger and brought it out and hand delivered it to me. And he said it must be delivered today. And that was after we had already gone ahead with the planning proposal.
So hang on just quickly, if they do seize the animals, what happens then?
Well, they would actually get put down.
Oh.
That's the sad part about it. I just want them to have a good life and, you know, live out their days.
Fingers crossed. Christina, thanks so much for chatting.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
We've got to take a break, but more projects after this. You're watching The Project. Welcome back.
Time now for more of today's top stories. And tonight, 8 people, including 6 children, are in hospital after a horror crash on the Hume Highway near Goulburn. The minivan they were travelling in rolled multiple times, leaving some of them trapped underneath. Drivers who witnessed the crash rushed to free those in the wreck. A little girl was trapped the longest.
There were about 12 or 20 of us that were all getting waved over, and we pushed the van up and flipped it back over and pulled her out. I hope she's okay.
At least 53 people have been killed and at least 62 injured in a powerful earthquake that struck Tibet. Dozens of buildings have collapsed or been damaged by the 6.8 magnitude quake. The epicentre was around 80 kilometres north of Mount Everest, with the strongest tremors felt in neighbouring Nepal, Bhutan and India. The death toll is expected to rise as authorities send in disaster relief.
There's been a close call for the King's niece, Zara Tindall, at the Magic Millions horse racing carnival on the Gold Coast. She was standing between two thoroughbreds on the sand, crazy, huh, at Surfers Paradise, when one horse got a bit excited.
Hello, Robbie. Home, Robbie.
Well, thankfully, Zara wasn't injured in the incident, unlike her mum, Princess Anne, who suffered a concussion after an incident with a horse at her country estate last year.
Wow. And a local council in New South Wales has taken aim at one of this summer's biggest fashion trends. The Blue Mountain City Council has deemed G-string tongs, inappropriate and has banned them from all public pools. Some have called the policy old-fashioned, others are worried it could mean budgie smugglers are on borrowed time.
Yeah,
thanks for sending the vision in, mate.
Yeah, no worries. That's on my Instagram if anyone wants to see it. But
Thoughts, feelings?
Thoughts, feelings? Right, G-strings out, but my nipple tassels, are they still good to go?
They're
fine. You do you, mate.
Yeah, they're okay.
I know we live in a world of inclusivity, but let's be honest. There's only a select few of us who can wear G-strings. I'm not saying myself, I'm just saying maybe you need someone at the front. Yep, nope. Like
a G-string bouncer? Is that what you're suggesting?
Now that you say it out loud, it sounds awesome.
I just don't think, I don't know, I just don't care. I don't care what people are wearing. If it's like, if they feel confident enough to wear that, then I'm all happy for them to do it. I wish I was one of you, but alas. But
I'm looking forward to coming to your wedding. That is going to be great. I'm going to turn up in the G-string.
I wish I could wear them. You know, my bum looks like a garbage bag filled with cottage cheese. I think if you've got it, flaunt it. It's so interesting though because the comments have been really like, what do the kids think? What do the kids think? Right? I spent a lot of time at the beach with my kids. They're not looking. They're too busy running around. However, flip the situation. You've got two girls.
Yes.
They'll be teenagers soon, and they'll want to wear that.
Oh.
What does Papa Dave say?
The G-string bouncer doesn't like it now.
It's all over now. Well, I don't know. I'm going to make a basement and just live in it for 10 years. I'm getting out of that.
Yeah, spoken like a true dad.
All right, speaking of summer controversy, today there was a new development in the Cabana wars and it's dividing opinion. Aussie beachgoers are using them to lay claim to prime spots in a move that's got even our Prime Minister fired up.
Today, the PM delivered his verdict.
Everyone owns the beach. Everyone. It's a place where every Australian is equal.
Weighing in on a trend that sparked outrage at a popular beach this week, where early birds have been using their cabanas to land grab prime spots on the sand before leaving and returning hours later.
Well, that's not on. That's a breach of that principle, really, to think that you can reserve a little spot as just yours.
I think it's unfair.
That's not so friendly. Not very Australian.
You shouldn't expect that everyone else will reserve the space for you. It's like public land.
I'm with you, PM. Get up early, come and put it up, sit on the beach. And when you've had enough, go home and let somebody else have the spot.
The beach staples have long divided Aussie beachgoers, some railing against them.
Like you were taking up literally a 10 by 10 square metre radius on the beach and you're still sitting outside of your Cool Cabana in the sun.
Here I am with my humble towel and these cabana bitches, they occupy the whole beach.
You take up too much space. No space for the rest of us.
I like that you can just come and sit at a beach in Australia, so I reckon no to the cabanas.
Others maintaining it's their right to seek shelter from the scorching Aussie sun.
I am a Cool Cabana girlie through and through. I love it. Plenty of space down here on the beach in Adelaide.
Well, they're great to stay out of the sun.
A great safety thing, particularly for young kids.
I think they cover a lot of space and they're cheap. They're good for the shade when you don't want to get burnt. It's great.
Tourist hotspots such as Bondi Beach and Noosa have long faced calls for a cabana ban, similar to the US, where beaches across the country have outlawed or restricted the use of cabanas and tents. While in Italy, authorities impose hefty fines on beachgoers who hog spots with sun lounges and umbrellas. So do we need similar policies to wrangle cabana lovers? Or is it first in, best dressed when it comes to nabbing a spot?
Well, Nick Salerno is a passionate crusader against cabanas. We actually saw him then with his humble towel. So, Nick, what makes you so cabana-phobic?
Look, I just want my space on the beach, guys. That's it.
That's all it comes down to what really
That's it.
riles you up about it? What do you hate the most?
It's the space. I need some space. Guys, when you're hogging up the beach and you're polluting the beach with your 4 cabanas next to each other, where is Gunkle Nick going to go? Poor guy.
Hang on, how much space do you need?
Oh, I come with a lot of baggage, so it's the towel, it's the tanning products, it's the camera woman, it's everything.
I thought you were talking about emotional baggage. Sorry, Nick. Sorry,
That as well, but that's for another time.
But Nick, look, you do have to admit, though, there are some benefits. I mean, you know, you've got sun safety, you're comfortable. Does that not sway you the other way?
Oh, look, of course, and I'm definitely not here to say anything opposing to sun safety or anything like that. Obviously, I'm the biggest advocate for sun safety. Slip, slop, slap, guys. You know, I just think when you've got a cabana on the beach and you're laying next to it, the least you can do is lie in it. So.
Well, yeah, what about that? Because there's been beachgoers who've been accused of basically land grabbing with their cabanas. So going down to the beach, marking their territory and leaving it there for the day. Yeah. Have you seen that and what do you make of it?
I've seen it all summer break.
Really?
Of course, I've definitely seen it. And I mean, my parents are the biggest advocates for going to the beach at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that's not me. And I just think of it like this. You wouldn't book a hot and heavy restaurant that you're waiting to go to and skip the reservation. So you kind of wouldn't do the same at the beach as well. If you're going to get there and you're going to set up that big monstrosity, at least sit in it or occupy it.
Yeah.
So how do we stop people with cabanas then? Do we need an inspector down there checking cars?
You've got me. I'll film a TikTok about it.
Are you going to sabotage their shade?
Of course.
What are you going to do? How?
Well,
what are you going to do? Like take a knife?
Of course not. Well, if they're going to ruin my tan, I'm going to get the camera out and I'm going to film a TikTok.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll learn them.
This is the most Gen Z punishment I've ever heard of. You're going to the beach like, you've just been tocked. There we go.
Also, Nick, from experience, be careful with the camera at the beach. People don't like it. You get in trouble, OK?
Yeah. That's very true. Exactly right. I'm good with my words, but if any hands are thrown, I'll be running.
And Nick, I thought I came up with a solution. Today it's been panned around the office. I'm going to throw it to you. What about this? Every beach, we create a giant shade cloth across half the beach. No. So some people can be in the shade, some people can be in the sun. What are your thoughts?
He's crazy, Nick. Tell him.
I just think stay at home.
Again, not the first time someone said that to me.
Let's destroy the sun, sir.
More great ideas with Samuel Taunton coming up. Nick, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. We won't see you at a cabana anytime soon.
Yes, definitely not.
What happened there, Sam? It was like you turned into the Australian Trump. You're like, build a roof.
I thought I was on Shark Tank for a second. I was like, what's going on?
I still reckon my knife idea is
The
better.
knife idea is the most Queensland thing I've ever heard.
I've spent a couple of weeks on the Gold Coast, you know? Like, I feel like I'm home.
Yeah.
Every solution, get a knife.
Yeah. What do? You shank it. That's what you do.
Guys, all right. This morning on the Today Show, roving reporter Dan Anstey shared a heartwarming moment with this little young gun at a Queensland skate park.
Oh. I think Georgia might be able to teach me to do a kickflip by the end of the show. You reckon?
No. Same response Georgie Tunney gave me when I asked to borrow a phone charger.
No! You still can't have it. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back.
Well, at least 3 elderly women in Melbourne have fallen victim to a group of 5 scammers who've convinced them they're being followed by evil spirits. They're told the spirit can only be gotten rid of if they put all their valuables in a bag so the scammers can bless them. This is sick. As a result, the seniors have been conned out of more than 200 grand's worth of cash and jewellery.
Wow, goodness. And how honest are you? A new survey has found 72% of Americans would probably or definitely tell a friend they're being mean. When it comes to oversharing on socials, 53% would say something, while 37% wouldn't. 55% would tell their friend that they've got bad breath. Only that.
Crazy.
You have to.
Australians are not like this.
No.
We do not like confrontation.
you just do something totally passive-aggressive to make them get the message.
Totally.
Well, you be an adult, you don't say anything and then talk about them behind their back. Like, that's what adults do.
It's so true. You start a group chat, you use their little photo as the cover and you move on. Oh, sorry, do we not all do that?
Yeah.
Oh, right, so I'm the bad guy.
Isn't it funny that laughter can sound like truth? Like everyone went, oh, God, that's exactly
I'm starting a WhatsApp group with this studio audience, right? I'm gossiping about you all.
Yeah, Sam, 31% of people said that they would definitely tell their friend if they told an offensive joke, and that was a banter.
Oh, that one? No, you wouldn't say that.
Not even close.
No, I've never told the truth to anyone ever.
Hang on,
so.
I don't think that you do laugh at a lot of my jokes.
No, but they're funny. They are. With you, it's different. The rest.
It's sounding like you're lying. I actually don't think that you would say anything that would be mean to someone.
No, I try not to be.
Like,
I hate it.
to make them upset. But yes, you wouldn't want to make them feel.
So the only thing that I would do, I point out that you're a bad driver, but pretty much every show, to be honest. That's the only. I would never ever talk to anyone about a perceived fault that I think they had in their personality.
But if I had VO, I'd want to know.
Yes. Agreed.
Really?
No.
Oh, knife them. Yeah.
Is that what that smell is? I was wondering. Anyway, guys, let's go to Sunrise. Katie Brown this morning decided to show off her multilingual skills, chatting with this French-Canadian circus performer. And let me tell you, it went très bien to the max.
And we are going to talk a little French. Bonjour. We are with Anton from Cirque de France. Animal.
Cirque Alphonse.
Damn it! I've lost it, but, keep trying. A for effort.
Sorry?
A for effort. That's what we say here when we try.
No, I didn't know that.
And I'd give that an A for awkward, to be honest.
C.
All right, we're back in there. Hey, Sarah, that was an offensive joke, OK? Come on.
We need to tell people again.
All right, well, when something breaks, we're pretty quick to toss and buy new. But with landfill reaching a tipping point and the environment begging us for us to be better, this repair cafe is giving broken items a new lease on life.
Oh, look at that. OK, that's a good start.
We're all committed to all those goals of bringing back repairing, sharing repairing skills and community building.
This is Wendy, co-founder of the Repair Cafe North Sydney.
This is quite messy, sorry.
You'll find her here on the first and second Sunday of each month. But don't expect to see her fixing anything, unless it's a cup of coffee.
So I'm the one that make the cappuccino and all the little snacks for the volunteers. Okay, my dear, there's a coffee.
She's part of a team of 28 hardworking volunteers, keeping household items from a trip to the tip.
They come from all walks of life. We've got retired engineers, we've got technicians, we have people who've done the tape course in shoe repair, we've got a professional jeweler, and we've got sewers who've learned the art of sewing from the time when they were young, from their mums.
Volunteers like Lynn.
I came in to see what was going on and then said I could come in and help with the sewing.
That was 6 years ago, and she's kept coming back to help mend and hem ever since.
I've done some toys, much loved toys, family heirlooms, 2 or 3 generations old, and repaired them just so that they can be used again.
They've fixed many sentimental items, from childhood clocks.
I had it to wake me up for school when I was little, and I had very sentimental feelings about it, so I didn't want to throw it out because it didn't work. I think it's just gone rusty.
To a bracelet sent from New Zealand that was broken in transit.
She said it was like her heart was broken. And so she came to us and got the bracelet repair. And she was just over the moon.
Yay, you did it!
Yeah, there we go.
How exciting. Umbrellas, kettles, suitcases, teddies, you name it, they can fix it.
Probably can't fix a broken heart. Although, in that case, we did fix a broken heart. Take that back.
All this to stop it from going here. Australia generates an average of 512 kilograms of household waste per person per year. That's almost 76 million tonnes of waste. And around 7.5 million of that is heading straight for landfill, which is already in crisis.
Greater Sydney will run out of landfill by 2030 unless we take serious action.
One of the biggest contributors, electrical appliances. We're projected to have spent a whopping $13 billion on household goods like TVs, microwaves and toasters in 2024.
Probably the worst thing that we get asked to fix is toasters. Toasters are just most inefficient object in the kitchen, in the whole house probably.
John's been lending a helping hand at the cafe for almost a year.
I'm a great home handyman, and so what I'm doing is putting this to use. If it can't be fixed with fencing wire, it can't be fixed. I think I'll just close it up there too, whatever. Quite often somebody comes in with a toy or something like this that the battery's been fitted the wrong way round, and you simply take it apart, put the battery back the right way and it works. This is where we seem to have our greatest successes.
There we go. Okay, so there's the battery. All right, you have nice new batteries. Good.
The Lane Cove Repair Cafe is one of 112 across Australia and more than 4,000 across the world. By repairing household items, they're reducing the volume of raw materials and energy needed to make new products, cutting carbon emissions.
And on. It lives.
Since opening in 2015, Wendy says around 2/3 of the 1,000 items brought in each year have been repaired and diverted from landfill. And the service is free.
It's reducing waste, it's good for the environment. Cost of living is going up, and this is a good way to save money by coming to us and get their things fixed.
The community of the volunteers is really fantastic. We like to wander around and have a look at each of the people and have a chat and see what they're doing. But oftentimes I just talk to somebody out in the street and they say to me, "What did you do the weekend?" I said, "Oh, I was at the Repair Cafe." They said, "What was that?" I tell them all about it. They say, "Wow, that's fantastic."
This is something very special to me, and now it's repair, and I'm learning repairing skills, and also the whole idea of bringing back repairing, which is a kind of a dying art, sharing repairing skills, and community building.
It's so nice. Because, I know the stats are all there about how much we throw things out, and I think we are a generation that unfortunately throws far too much out. Yeah. But also speaks to that generation who grew up fixing things. Yeah. Like my father-in-law, he was an engineer on the floor of Boeing, so he can fix anything. Yeah. But then he comes around to my house and I just have like a mental breakdown if I see an IKEA flat pack. Like I can't fix anything. Can't put it together. And so when you're seeing those skills, it's almost like I should probably get it passed on to us.
Totally. But more than fixing just stuff, it's fixing broken communities as well. These people getting together to have a chat over a cup of coffee and kind of fix stuff together. What a beautiful thing.
Also, big shout out to John's haircut. That is
that was
fire. That was unbelievable.
What a
Loved it.
beautiful fella. Hey, got to take a break. We'll see you soon. Project. Welcome back.
Now, our next guest, Steve Backshall, is a British naturalist whose deadly adventures have taken him all across the big blue sea. Author, explorer and wildlife adorer. Backshall has often been described as Britain's answer to Steve Irwin. Forever the Adventurer, his latest expedition is here down under for a national tour. Would you please welcome Steve Backshall?
Thank you very much.
Steve, excellent shirt, by the way. Very pertinent.
Do you mean that?
Yeah, I do. I actually do. And it's very pertinent because, of course, your live shows is all about the ocean.
Absolutely, it is.
Australia, surrounded by ocean, also many deadly animals.
Very
you love
good,
those
Tunny,
too.
well done.
Like, is this actually the perfect country for you?
It really is. I mean, you've got everything here. You've got the most venomous snail, the most venomous octopus, the most venomous snake, spider, the biggest reptile, the biggest predatory shark. You've got everything here in Australia. But I think the most fascinating thing is how you've learned to live alongside those animals, how you have respect for them, how you understand how they work, and how so few people are actually harmed by those animals that you have here in relative abundance.
Well, I was thinking it's a bit, because I reckon it's a bit overhyped. Everyone's like, Australia's dead. I'm alive, you know? Like, I haven't been attacked. So if we're the most dangerous place in the world, like, every other country must be a breeze.
But you're not the most dangerous. You have got the most venomous.
Shook him to the core.
But, you know, there are so few people killed. You know, in my lifetime, no people killed by spider bites, you know, maybe 1 or 2 by snakes a year. Compare that to somewhere like India, where there might be 20,000 people killed by snakes. You know, you're not even close. You have the most venomous, but a lot of those animals are super shy and they'll do anything they can to get away from human beings.
They're just laid-back Aussies.
Yeah,
But we also have it like drilled into us, right, since we're younger. And something though that no one knows anything about, at least I don't think so, is the deep sea. We don't know anything really, but I hear that you have been doing a lot of research into this, and I'm so fascinated to know, what have you found to be most shocking?
Most shocking? I think that any experience with a large whale is always completely overwhelming because you have these animals that can be vast, that can be, 40 tons, 50 tons, more than that. And quite often they're super interested in you. They have a fascination with something new in their environment. And diving with something like a sperm whale, for example, that could be as heavy as 3 fire trucks, they are super sophisticated. They're always communicating, particularly the females at the surface. They have this dialect called coda, which sounds like sellotape, sticky tape being ripped off a reel. And you can feel it through your whole body. It transmits through. Can I do it?
Yeah.
But
is it on Duolingo?
Well, do you know what's really interesting is there's a group who are trying to decode using artificial intelligence, machine learning, the communication of whales.
To speak whale, like in Finding Nemo.
To learn how to speak whale.
Oh my God.
Do they just sit at massage parlours, just going, oh, that's whale song?
Kenya.
That's amazing.
Oh my God.
So I read that you actually saw your first shark when you were 9 years old.
When I was way too young, not expecting it, absolutely terrified. This thing went round and around and around me. I climbed up onto a rock and sat there for about 3 hours until I got such bad sunburn that I had to get back in the water. And then I swam like Ian Thorpe for the shore. It was just absolutely crazy. But I now know that it was a black-tip reef shark. It was probably about that big. And it's a tremendous kind of insight into how our perception and reality are two very, very different things. The danger of particular shark species to us and what we think to be the danger are two very different things.
Yeah, but Steve, like, sharks are cool, but crustaceans, that's the cool one.
Yes, very true.
I've heard you got one named after you.
I have, yeah. So I'm lucky enough to work for an organisation that are exploring the deep seas. We're trying to find 100,000 new species over the next 10 years. And on one deep dive down to about 600 metres last year, we found inside a cone shell this tiny, bright orange and white snapping shrimp. It's got one giant claw like this that it uses to make sound. And they named it after me. So I have Backshall snapping shrimp, this tiny little shrimp.
Are you tasty? Have you tried it?
I mean, that would seem all wrong.
Why? Because it's a 7:30 time slot. He's not going to say, I just ate myself.
Shrimp. If you had a shrimp named after a prawn named after you, the Thorno prawn, would you eat it?
No, the Thorno prawn sounds like a description my wife would say. But Steve, let's go to some safer territory. Well, I say safer, but this may be a division between you and the rest of the desk, because we would have probably the best beaches in the world, but I hear that your favourite is in the English Isles.
Well, I think one of the reasons it's my favourite is that I go there every year with my family. I have done since my little ones were babes in arms. I have swum in the seagrass meadows there, found teeny little seahorses and swum with the grey seals that come right up to your face there. And to be able to do that with your youngsters, all your experiences are more intense, right, when you see them through your kids' eyes. So because that is like, it's like a second home for us.
Yeah.
It's always going to be more special than anywhere else in the world. I am not for a second dissing Australian beaches, and I know better than to do that.
You'd be deported, actually.
Dangerous stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially when you chuck your kids in the Thames, I read. That's where you got them to swim as well.
Yeah, so we live alongside the Thames, and at certain times a year, it can be relatively clean, and, they don't care. They don't care where they are. I mean...
You can swim all the time? Noosa. That's a great thing. You've got to get up there, Steve. It's great.
I guess, what did they do wrong? Who knows?
Well, Steve's national tour kicks off on Thursday. Tickets are available on our website. Would you please thank Steve Backshall?
Thank you so much.